Hey guys, what's going on? It's Felswim40k. I'm back here with another video, and today we're gonna be doing another in-depth guide, and it's gonna be on Death Guard. So I want to do this a little quicker than last time. I don't want this video to be as long as the last one. Felt like I just rambled, or just made some mistakes and stuff like that. So I want to make this video a little quicker, but I also want to make sure that we go over everything as well. So without further ado, I guess let's jump right in. We're going to start with Typhus. So Typhus is the legendary, and he's fantastic. Yeah, I put him in B tier. He's definitely going up to A tier. I definitely enjoyed him. So we're going to start off. We're going to go into what the Death Guard's specialty ability is, which is Contagions of Nurgle. So an aura, round 1 and 2, range 1. Round 3 and 4, range 2, and 5+ round the range is 3. So it's an expanding aura that gets better, or gets bigger as the game goes on. So all non-chaos units get a temporary minus 20% reduction in armor. Non-chaos units and 2 or more overlapping auras get minus 40 armor. This is fantastic. So if you put 2 Death Guards into your group, now anybody in their auras that is overlapping now gets minus 40% armor reduction, which is insane, right? Really good for the PvE guild raid. I've actually been utilizing Typhus into my group with Rot Bone, so there's even less armor now on that target, on the raid boss, so really good. So another thing that is pretty common in the Death Guard units is Resilient. So anytime a unit takes lethal damage and is not already at one health, it goes down to 1 health instead of dying, except for Overkill. So Overkill obviously doesn't trigger this, but still really good, because basically now the enemy has to spend 2 resources instead of 1 killing your unit, basically. Really good. The last one is Psyker. We've already gone over that. So basically he has a ranged psychic attack. So let's go into his active. His active is Plague Wind. Deals 90 to 112 psychic damage to a target within 2 hexes. Any enemies adjacent to the initial target takes 67 to 85 psychic damage. Any further enemies adjacent to it, at least 1 secondary target, take 49 to 63 psychic damage. This is actually a really good AoE ability. It can actually deal a lot of damage. It ignores all attacker bonuses and modifiers, so basically this is kind of like direct damage. So really good. Really good at finishing off like a lot of units that maybe have taken damage but aren't dead yet, or things like that might have the resilience. You know what I mean? So honestly, pretty good ability. It's a little weak. Don't expect to do a lot of damage, but expect it to be a finisher. You can use it as a finisher on a lot of targets. His Destroyer Hive, which is his passive, deals 63 to 72 direct damage to 1 random adjacent enemy. Direct damage is basically like true damage. It has 100% pierce ratio. I'm not sure if it can be blocked by anything else. I have noticed that it is done basically minimum of 63 damage. So but Typhus, yeah, he's not bad. I really like him. I'm starting to incorporate him a little bit more in things that I do. I think he's better for PvE, not PvP. Unfortunately, there's just better units for PvP, so I wouldn't recommend using him for PvP. But the guild raid, onslaught, salvage, things like that, I use him for it, and I really enjoy him. Also Fall of Cadia, I use him. So next up we have Malladus. Malladus just isn't that great. He's got Contagion and he's got Resilient, which is great, but his movement's just trash. His abilities, we'll get into his active, which is Flail Swing. Forms a melee attack dealing 157 to 178 power damage to the target and triggering Haze of Corruption. The target is defeated. Any unit defeated by this attack, its add-on attacks from Haze of Corruption is automatically overkilled, which is great. You're automatically overkilling, so they don't have to worry about being revived, but it's just still not that great. His passive is Haze of Corruption. Defeats a target, any leftover damage. An additional 24 power damage is dealt to a random enemy unit. adjacent to both Malleus and its initial target. If this unit is also defeated, an additional unit adjacent to... It's basically like you can chain it almost, but it's just not there. If anything, Typhus basically is active, does the same as that passive, but better. It'll deal more damage, and yeah, it won't overkill, but it's just way better. So I just don't use Malleus. I'll be honest with you, don't use him at all, as you can see. Nauseous Rotbone. Rotbone is S tier. He's a great healer. He has, resilient. He has contagion, so minus 20% armor, or minus 40 if he's with another. I use him a lot. We'll go into his active, which is Revitalizing Malignancy. Heals himself and all adjacent friendly units for 139 plus 139 if Chaos. No effect if Imperial. So it's really good when you're dealing with Chaos, so if you're using Black Legion and Death Guard together, he's really good. If you got Imperial, then maybe not. His passive, Tainted Narthecium. An adjacent friendly Chaos unit that takes lethal damage has a 75% chance to resurrect immediately with 112 health. And here's the kicker. Here's what sets him aside from all the others. Even if overkilled. So even if overkilled, boom. He can still raise them from the dead. This is really great for the PvE, the guild raid battles, because obviously the raid boss is most likely going to overkill your target or one of your units, and he can res them. I bring him in because this is fantastic for basically reducing minus 20% armor on the raid boss, and he can res an ally for the next turn, or and then heal. Fantastic. I always bring him in for my guild raids. I don't use him for PvP though, and then I do use him for Fall of Cadia because if you want a 3-star, some of the fights you need to bring in a healer. Next up, we have Pastilion. Pastilion is alright. He has a different ability other than resilient and contagion, which is Putrid Explosion. So basically, when he dies, this unit explodes when defeated, dealing 25% of its max health as direct damage to all adjacent units. No damage to Death Guard units. So great, if he's with a bunch of Death Guards, you don't have to worry about him dying. His active is Foul Infusion. Pestilent and all friendly Chaos units within his Contagion aura deal an extra 63 direct damage on each of their melee attacks. This is actually pretty good. I do like seeing passives like this or actives like this where you bolster your allies around you, maybe instead of just being a great target, single target or just killing unit. So this is really good. And then his passive is Blight Racks, which any friendly ranged unit standing in a hex adjacent to Pestilent deal an additional 95 blast damage on their ranged attacks. Enemies defeated by these attacks are automatically overkilled. So this is really good if you want to use him with Volk. Him and Volk work really well together. But it's still alright. So Pestilent, he's alright. I don't know where to put him. If I was to put him in a 5-man team, I just can't really use him. I just see that there is just much better units that I have between Black Legion and Death Guards, so he doesn't really get put in too much. Last up we have Corrodius. Corrodius is another summoner. He obviously has Contagion and he has Resilient. So once again, great for, tanking resources basically, or forcing them to use multiple resources to kill him, so that's always good. We'll go to his active. Poxwalkers. Summons Poxwalkers in a 15 to 25% chance of free hexes rounded up within Corrodius's aura. Newly summoned Poxwalkers can immediately attack an enemy in melee but cannot move this turn. So the issue is that he basically, you only have a % chance to summon that many Poxwalkers. So that can really hurt. But I understand where they're coming from, because you actually don't want to summon them right away. You'd want to summon them around turn 2 or 3 so that his aura is bigger and you can summon just about as many in that aura, right? I have not really gotten that many from him. I'll be honest with you. It seems like a real low chance, but it's still a really good summon. So Crotis is worth leveling up just simply for that ability alone, because summons are always fantastic. Next up we have Cursed Plague Bell. Adjacent enemy psychers deal 72 psychic damage to themselves each time they deal psychic damage. Friendly chaos units starting their turn in any adjacent hex get +1 movement for that turn. So it's really good. It's real benefit. Like, he helps Typhus, Archimados, things like that. Getting an extra movement, getting up there, getting that extra movement to get in range or whatever. So really good. But once again, I still don't really feel like I have a need for him. Aleph Null as a summoner does better in my opinion. The Scarabs just do more damage, they survive better, things like that. Archimados can summon up to 4 demons, plus every time he kills something, he summons a demon in their place. Still just better in my opinion. There's a lot of potential for this character, so I want to level him up, but I don't really use him yet for a whole lot. So I think that's it. Yep. That is about it for the Death Guard. Overall, the Death Guard is really good, has a lot of potential, really good raid boss fighting potential, with the aura, you know, reducing armor by 20% or 40% if they're overlapping is fantastic. Great for the raid bosses. You really actually notice a lot of damage. I think when I did one try, I got up to the point where my Abaddon was actually hitting without using his active ability for 700 a hit. It was insane. He usually only hits for like usually only hits for like 350 to 400. He was like doubling his damage. It was insane. And then I think his Draconian ability hit for 1300. It was insane. And my Abaddon's really not that high up, but still. So this really helps a lot, especially if you couple him with Harkin, who also reduces armor on the raid boss. Really great. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys agree, things like that down in the comments about the Death Guard. I think the Death Guard has a lot of potential, and I want to start utilizing them more. I just don't know where to put them yet. So I just thank you so much for the video, for watching the video. If you've gotten this far, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me out, lets me know, and let me know down in the comments what you want to see maybe in future videos or something like that. Maybe a video of where I can see where utilizing them is better, like how I've been utilizing them, or you know, if you want to know how to utilize them. But thank you so much, and just have a great and wonderful day.